MMAOddsBreaker, welcome back. I'm Frank Trigg. Of course, we're talking to Yancy Medeiros right now, getting ready to fight Joe Proctor, coming up here December 12th. Here in Las Vegas for the UFC. You're in the 209 right now, right? Up there in Stockton with the Diaz brothers?
Yeah, up here with Nate.
I interviewed Joe Schelling a couple days ago before his last fight, and he was talking about how much they spend actually, Nate and Nick actually spend teaching him as he was helping them get ready. Obviously, he's a striker. He would go up there and help them in their camps when they're fighting striking guys. And he was like, he was amazed at how much knowledge they passed along during training camp to him. Do you get that same feeling from them as well when you're in training camp with them, that they're giving so much information to you?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, we always train hard, and even after the training, it's like Nick will come in and give a mini seminar. He's like a ninja. He comes in and we're like trying to teach us something. We're all in awe, and we end up staying there for hours after. It's just like you don't want to pass that up.
Sometimes is it too much that you're getting so much information you can't implement any of it?
Well, not necessarily, because if Nick or Nate is teaching something, they won't overwhelm you. You know what I mean? They'll teach you about 2, 3 things so you can get it down. I mean, they're really great at teaching martial arts and progressing mentally. So like you get the best of both worlds, physically and mentally.
You're from Hawaii. You still live in Hawaii, but you do train camps in the 209. Hawaii is getting a great. I've talked to a lot of guys before and said you have to get off the island. You got to come to the mainland and train.
Yeah.
You've done that, but now it's kind of seems like there's a couple different groups in Hawaii. They're actually starting to pick up steam, starting to get some good wins, some good victories. Have you ever thought about staying put for training camps? You can be around your family, or or being up there with Nick and Nate is so important to you that you're always going to keep maintaining going up there?
Nah, it's I'm always gonna be up here. I'm part of Nick Diaz Academy. I live in Hawaii and I utilize Hawaii the best I can. I appreciate all helping teams that I commute with and train with over there. But my team I represent is Nick Diaz Academy. They've helped me progress so much as a martial artist, and like I pay homage to Nate and Nick, because Nate will always open up his house to me, treat me like a brother. He's done things for me that helped me progress in my career, like only family does, which my family did back home. And coming from Hawaii and then transferring over to California, it's like they're like brothers to me. It's like I'm not even leaving my family. I'm just going to a different house with different family members. So it's really comfortable. It's not something that I'm never gonna stop doing.
Have they been taking you on bike rides? Have you been getting out there on the road bike
Always,
with them?
always, yes. Like Nick, it's a funny story. The first triathlon I ever did was in Xterra Tahoe, and Nick totally set me up. I landed in Hawaii. He's like, "Hey, what? You want to go do a triathlon?" I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "I ain't gonna be no bitch."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm down." Takes me to Lake Tahoe. Never rode a mountain bike in my life. It was a 22 mountain bike. Never wore a wetsuit in my life. It was like totally like mind blowing. But once you go through something like that, something that epic, something that mentally hard on you, like you feel like you can accomplish a lot. Like after I finished that triathlon, I was like, like Nick's like, bro, no one does this shit.
Yeah, no one does.
And I'm thinking like it boosts me up so much and be like, yeah, like I know what I'm capable of doing and pushing myself through mentally and physically.
What's the longest you ride during training camp?
Now it depends on the weather. Like we've been trying to get bike rides in now, but winter's so cold in Cali,
Yeah.
so it's hard. I mean, we do put in miles. We do put in like 20 miles, or we do runs. We do from 5 mile runs to 10 mile runs. We do all kinds of different runs. It depends on how the camp is going. Also, with us.
I talked to Ryan Bader, who also road cycles a lot, and he's the same as I am, where bad knees, bad ankles, we can't run.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time on the bike, and he's doing like a 75-mile bike ride.
Yeah.
This weekend. Like that's what he does,
I've never went that far yet. I haven't put that much bike time in as Nick and Nate has. But yeah, the bike, like for me, I feel like that's easiest for me to lose weight because it's easy on the knees. High volume, low intensity.
I actually was trying to organize an interview with the two of them, and they weren't responding. And I didn't understand why. It's like 2 days later, they're like, my phone died. I was on a 50-mile bike ride. My phone died. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, okay. That's the best excuse ever. I've never had that excuse ever. That's fine. I'll let it go. It's perfect.
Those guys personally. When they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah. Like, they'll call you back when it's time frame. It's interesting to me to see how many guys really, because publicly they have a different moniker than anybody else than what we see. Like when
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with them, when I'm hanging out with you guys, totally different guys. Like it's totally different guys, and that's why I love them so much. Is because they're real, they're straightforward. There's no bullshit. They're not trying to sugarcoat anything. When they say I ain't no bitch, they really mean that. Like that's their moniker. Like they live by that creed.
Yeah.
And it comes off too when I see guys like you train with them that it comes out in you as well.
Yeah.
Do you have some tricks and some things you're gonna pull on Joe Proctor that you picked up in this train camp? That really the rest of the MMA world is calling it the 209. Like there's a 209 system that Nick and Nate have, and Jake and Gilbert. Like that's just like the way that they are, and no one else can duplicate it unless you're in that camp. Is there some 209 we're gonna see in this fight with Joe Proctor?
Well, I mean, yeah, like Nick, I feel like when I train with Nick, Nate, and Gilbert and Jake, then they bring out the best in me. And, you know, they bring out a fight. I mean, all of them fight differently,
yeah,
but they all fight. You know what I mean? Like Jake will get in there. You give him your body, you're done. He's taking you down. He's gonna ground and pound you. People don't understand. They think Jake's a boring fighter. I'm like, go and train with him. You're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
You ever train with Jake Shields? You're gonna fight for your life. I don't care what anyone says. I'm like, that's why people fight him like that, because he's gonna get in there and grind you out until you give up. And you know, experiencing that all the time, sparring with him, rolling with him, having that tenacity. It's like, how are you not going to train? How are you not going to fight like that in the fight? You know what I mean? Like, I got my ass beat this whole time in training camp. I got beat up from Nick, slammed on the ground from Gilbert. I'm like, I train with the best in the world. I train with the best martial artists in the world. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give everything I got. I didn't lose. I didn't get beat up in this gym to not try and win or not try and fight, excuse me.
And it's kind of a perfect little storm because everyone's about the same weight class. You know, it's 55, 70, so everyone's kind of in the same area. All you guys are super tall for the weight class. You're 5'10", fighting at 155. Like that's kind of tall for 55-pounder.
Yeah.
You know, so it all kind of fits. You know, Gilbert's a little bit shorter for the weight, but he's more average height for the weight, not shorter. But it all kind of fits in, like how you're pretty much going to see everything that you could possibly see with any one of your opponents. You see it with them.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to bring in somebody specific just to help you get ready? You know, in that camp.
Yeah, I do. I bring in a couple specific guys, but sometimes it's a bit harder because I'm in California.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm in California, though, because there is a lot of people I can get to compared to being in Hawaii. Yeah. You know, I come to California, I got all these Muay Thai guys, kickboxing guys. I got Richard Perez boxing. I got all kinds of guys that don't even know me and are strong in their sport. And that's the great thing about training in California. You come to Hawaii, everyone knows you. So there's always that respect factor, especially when you go with your friends. You know, when you go with someone you don't know, it's almost like you're fighting. It's almost legit. Like the anxieties are up. You're not in your comfort zone as you are sparring with someone you spar with all the time. So that's just a great feeling too, that they'll come in and they'll bring guys in for us. And I learned that from Nick and Nate. Just bringing new bodies. You know, you don't want to keep beating up your friends.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. But you want to get hard practices in. You want to get that live in. But you need to, like, it's hard to do that with your friends or your homies. Because after that, you guys got to shake hands and go live with each other.
Yeah, how is it on a tough day of practice? Like, you know, you had a real tough day of practice. You gave him a butt kicking. He gave you a butt kicking. Now it's time for dinner. And you got to go home and do laundry. And you got to sit there. And it's like, okay, now we'll sit on the couch together watching TV. Yeah. Is there a little bit of damn it, man, like I was going to ask you today when you're sitting on the couch and trying to talk your way through it? It doesn't come home?
It doesn't come home to a negative aspect. You know what I mean? Like, you got me today, I'm gonna get you tomorrow, kind of thing. Like it's all positive. It's all good. There's never this unspoken animosity. You know, there's never unspoken animosity, and that's really why I appreciate Nick and Nate, because they're real. You know, they're gonna take what they're gonna take, and they're gonna give what they're gonna give. Do you find it hard catching sponsors right now? Sometimes a lot of sponsors are by association. And so they're like, well, I don't want to be part of Yancy's group because he's associated with the Diaz brothers. And then the other ones are just, they're so fake and so problematic to deal with. It's just like, well, why would I mess with you anyway? I might as well not take your Peasley $5,000 to do this thing for you because it's going to just cause me more headache. Yeah, it's rough, man. Sponsors have been rough now. A lot of people are just talking. Yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that, but no one's putting out. And I'm sure you've seen that many times, Frank. You know, too much guys be like, oh, I can do this, I can do that for you. They're doing that. Everyone's put their hand in the cookie jar. Nobody wants to put cookies in it. Yeah. The biggest problem that's happening right now is that everyone's got promises. What they end up doing is like, hey, here, I know we're going to sign you this $100,000 deal, but here's $5,000 in merchandise to get you through it. Go ahead and put this out on your social media, wear it in your practices, do a photo shoot for us. Hey, don't worry, the money's coming, the money's coming, the money's coming. You're like,
Dude, where's the money? Oh man, sorry, we don't have the money. Well,
Yeah, and then now it's like too late to even stress over it because you
yeah.
got a camp or you got a fight going in, and it's like I don't even got time to think about that. And yeah, like my boy Nate's trying to find sponsors right as we speak. You know, like guys just telling him yeah, hoo, yeah, and it's like show us, show him. You know,
Yeah, until the money's actually there, I don't want to deal with it, you know, and I can't do anything
exactly.
for you until you give me the money.
Yeah,
It's problematic throughout the entire MMA community right now, and it's even worse, I think, at the UFC level, at the biggest level, because everybody wants to be in somehow with the big leagues, and they can't quite get there, so they're trying to hustle and jive their way into it, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't, and it just ends up screwing you at the end of the
yeah.
day because you're like, I don't have time to mess with you, so I have to move on to something else.
I've got good management and they deal
Yeah,
with that. He deals with that. You know, like he just makes me focus on my training,
yeah.
but I feel for him.
What's a typical training week like? Talking about training, what's it like? Do you guys train 6 days a week, 7 days a week?
We pretty much train every day, but it'll be 6 7 days a week. Depends on how the body feels. Like some days will feel better than others. Like sometimes guys, for example, guys don't train on Sundays, but we might just want to go lose some weight, so we'll go in the gym, get a little warm up, and hit the sauna. You know, it's nothing. We work around how our body feels. Like, oh, our legs sore today. Okay, let's box it up today. You know,
What's your toughest day of practice? Is it like Wednesday the toughest day? Is Friday the toughest day?
whenever I'm with Richard Perez, it's crazy. He takes you to hell, bro, and back, and then puts you back there again.
How many days a week is that?
Huh?
How many days a week is that?
Oh, maybe at least two times a week. You know, Richard will get your punch count up. He will. You think you never throw 1,000 punches? Go train with Richard Perez.
Now, I talked to Diaz brothers, and hopefully this doesn't break into any game planning or anything that you don't want to let out. But we all make fun of them. Oh, let's go punch like Nick and Nate, and you just throw like 1,000 punches. And then I realized it's not really what they're doing. What they're doing is they're throwing so many punches, all you can do is defend, and then all of a sudden it's like 55 whatever bullshit punches, and then like 7 whack, whack, whack,
Yeah.
whack, and you're like,
Parker.
I'm so used to blocking all 55, and all of a sudden you hit me hard. I'm overwhelmed, and that's kind of the game plan that they play. Does that come from Richard Perez, or does that come from Nick and Nate just kind of developing it on their own?
Well, I mean, Richard's. I feel like Richard's style is all about pressure breaks the fight. You know what I mean? Just get in there facing. You know what I mean? You got the cardio, you eat clean, like that style right there. I felt like I kind of went towards their style because I have the same body structure. I'm long, I got long arms like them, and it helped me. I think more of our style is more aerobic than anaerobic. You know what I mean? Like I'd say strength wise, our styles are more like snakes compared to gorillas. You know what I mean? Gorillas are hella explosive, and snakes are more like constricting and strong. It's two different types of strength.
Right.
And I feel like our style is more that style of just completely like staying at 70 and picking it up to 100, go back down like a run. Like when you do a run, you exactly like that. It's the same style mental concept. So I mean, like that, and we're just Richard just like come on. So in your head, you're like, come on, you gotta go. But then in the fight, you have to learn how to slow it down because it's more than punches you gotta worry about. But having that mindset, at least you know you're ready physically for that and ready to push and go. When you hit rock bottom, you still can go. Like that.
Eat clean too.
Clean, yeah.
I mean, obviously, everyone, Jake Shields is a vegan. Like everyone knows, it's a big deal. Gilbert, eats clean but eats meat. We know that. How about the Diaz brothers, and how about you specifically? Are you a meat eater, or are you just a vegetarian, or you're vegan?
I eat seafood. I eat some seafood. I've been trying to slow down. Like I live in Hawaii, so it's really hard to transfer over to just being vegan because the fish is just so great there.
It literally was in the ocean 20 minutes ago.
Exactly.
It's as fresh as it can be. It's great.
Yeah, it's as fresh, and I'm the type I eat just like Nick and Nate. I believe Nick's full on vegetarian now or vegan. And Nate will eat some seafood. What is that? Pescatarian, I guess.
Yeah.
Pescatarian, but I mean, we do 80%, 90% of what we digest is organic and all natural.
See, my girlfriend is vegetarian, and I'm pescatarian. I eat mainly fish, but of course Thanksgiving's coming up, so I'm gonna have turkey. No ham. No ham allowed in the house.
Pork. Yeah.
I do break when it comes to bacon. That is my one thing I gotta jump on. Is bacon. That's the one thing I just get screwed up on. But usually it's mainly seafood. If I have any meat, I've gone sometimes where I forgot, like I haven't had any meat, like any what we consider meat, meat-based protein. For like 2 or 3 days, and I just forget. I'm like, I drink shakes. I have protein shakes in the middle, and I feel a difference, but I'm not in training camp. I'm not in the middle of trying to get ready for a fight. I'm just trying to look good on camera. So all I'm trying to do is keep my head from being a pumpkin head. That's all I'm trying to do. Do you feel a difference between when you're eating a bunch of fish at home and then being mainly a vegetarian when you're in training camp? Do you notice a difference in your energy levels and your strength levels?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people when they do the transition from laying off the meat protein or the fish protein, I don't feel like they feel like, oh, I feel weak. I'm like, well, I feel like you don't consume enough calories and enough protein in your diet because you stop eating meat. And that's like the big concept. Like people are like, how do you get your protein? Or how do you get, I'm like, you have plant-based protein shakes, you consume as much protein. You know what I mean? It's the same. You just got to consume more in your calorie intake. People don't pay attention to that. They're like, oh, I eat vegetables now. I stop eating meat. I get headaches. I'm like, yeah, because you're not eating enough.
Yeah, you got to get more in.
Eat more in, exactly, and vegetables and fruits that all burns off fast. That burns hella fast. So you gotta keep consuming that. Which when you eat more, your metabolism rises because you're working out more. It's like I learned that firsthand. I was 245. I was 215 when I met Nick and Nate training.
215.
When I fought in Strikeforce, I was 185.
That's right. Oh crap! I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I started living with Nick and Nate, not training no camp, just ate how to eat. And I just started shedding hella weight. Started walking around like 190, 185, 180. And then I started walking around 175. And I was like, I can make 55.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I totally forgot. I apologize. I totally forgot about that. You were fucking huge.
Big boy.
You were huge.
Till this day, Nate teases me, bro. Till this day, I got a picture of me at like 245. And he like shows me the picture every day. I'm like, oh man, I should have never sent you that picture.
Did your tattoos get brighter as you lost weight because the skin got closer together?
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't get a shark because it probably would have turned into a fish.
Oh man, oh that's great. Oh, I totally forgot about that. That's great. It really is. You can work out as much as you want, eat like shit. You're still gonna be fat. You can not eat at all. But never work out, you're still gonna look like shit. You got to work out and you got to eat right. It's a combination of both.
Your body wants both of it. It wants both of it. That's what it instinctually wants to do. It wants to be fit. It wants to be healthy. If it didn't, it wouldn't help repair you. You know what I'm saying? If your body didn't want to do that, it wouldn't heal you. It wouldn't try and do all these things to adapt and make you keep going through life.
Obviously, because of Nick and Nate, and they're vocal weed smokers. Everyone knows that's what they do. They don't take Adderall because of their ADD. They rather smoke weed. That's their deal in California. Completely legal, has been for years. Obviously, your plant-based protein is. we're going to assume it's coming from hemp-based protein. Is that where you're getting your plant-based protein from?
A lot of hemp, a lot of what's it called, nuts, and just anything I can derive with proteins, anything I consume naturally and organically.
Is it you're Hawaiian? Everyone, BJ Penn set the standard. Everyone smokes weed in Hawaii. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Part of the culture. It's part of growing up out there. It's just what it goes.
It's huge.
When you come in for training camp, and say Nick or Nate aren't on training camp time right now. Fortunately, right now they are. They're on training camp time. Yeah. But they're not. And say they're smoking, but you're staying in the house. Do you ever have an issue or ever worry about, oh, hey, I might get caught because I'm getting a contact high from being in the same house or being around it?
One thing that they've always done is they always say you're a master of your own craft. They've never peer pressured me to do anything that I've never wanted to do, and they totally understand. I got popped from that one situation and used Edwards, and I had to change myself and just change my habits. And they've never jocked me or
never had that problem. You're right.
Never had that problem. They're like, oh, why are you not doing? They're not like that.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying, do you ever feel like that just because they might be smoking and because they're off, they're not. They're just
no, that doesn't throw me off.
You might be there trying to train. You're like, well, shit, I'm in the other room. I might get caught because of this. That doesn't bother you.
No, it's like I'm an adult. You know what I mean? Put yourself, get more away. Okay. Out of the situation. Like I'm never like, this is his house. I respect it. You know what I mean? Whatever they're doing, I'll work around it.
For all the performance enhancing drugs,
respectful, huh?
For all the performance enhancing drugs that are on the list, to me, weed is the dumbest one. I've never smoked weed. It's never been my thing. I just never did it. And but it still to me is the dumbest thing on the list. Like, why is it even? It makes no sense. Like, why is it banned?
It is what it is. I mean, I guess it's part of my job to not test it for that. So after I got popped for it, I just thought about my daughter and trying to be a role model to her. I don't want her like looking on going on Instagram and seeing me smoking a spliff. It's like that's not something I want my daughter to have the image of me. So been really trying to clean up my act.
And it's worked. To be honest with you, it's really worked. I even talked to some of the Hawaiian guys you train out with, and they're like, Yancy's completely changed. Like, he's actually made a full dedication. He's changed. It's the first thing they say isn't, oh yeah, he's completely changed. Look at how much of a better fighter he is. The first thing they say about you is he's completely changed. Look at how a better man he is. Then it's look how much of a better fighter he is. It's always secondary. To the folks at home in your home state of Hawaii, they see you as a better man than they do see you as a better fighter long before they see you as a fighter. It's really a testament to how much you've grown and developed and really like dedicated yourself to the sport. Like really like this is like you said, it's my job. I don't agree with parts of my job, but I have to follow in suit, so I'm following in suit. This is what I have to do if I want to work.
It is what it is. It's part of me being a professional athlete. It's what it is. Sometimes, you can't jock the guy giving you the check.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It's like the dog biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
Like I'm screwing up and let's be honest, it's happened before. You can win in the UFC decisively and still lose. They still get cut. It's like, but I didn't fail any drug tests. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what happens? It's just what's happened. We're accelerating your contract.
Political sometimes. Yeah,
I know it's silly. Yes, thanks for coming out here. I appreciate it. It's great to always talk to you, man. And I love whenever I'm in Hawaii and I get a chance to train with you. It's so much fun to get to be around you and hang out.
All your teaching, I still utilize all that stuff you taught me in the wrestling room. It's good.
Your energy is amazing when you're in the room, and you are one of the most coachable athletes that I've ever seen. You literally can be shown something and will try it the next moment when you're going live. Like, I can correct you in the middle of a round. No, try this, and you'll try it next. And it's amazing to see you do stuff like that. It really is.
Thanks, Frank. Thank you. I appreciate you too.
Tell the Diaz brothers and Jake and Gilbert, I said, hey, and have
a great
time against Joe, man. It's gonna be a fun time.
It will.
Hopefully, I'll be in town. Hopefully, I'll be there live. If not, let's hook up after the fight's over.
Please, please. Looking forward to it, Frank.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later on.
Take care, man. Aloha.
Aloha.